Madam City Clerk, are we ready?
We're ready, Board Chair.
Please proceed with your preliminary meeting instructions.
There are no preliminary instructions, Board Chair. However, you can call the meeting to order if you like.
I'd like to call the order for the Art and Public Places meeting on June 24th, 2025 at 6 p.m. Madam Chair, can we now move on to the oath of office?
Yes.
I'm going to do a group oath of office if you would like me to start down to the front. Oath of office, if you're ready. You got it for me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that please state your name,
that I, Jael Blair Lewis,
will support and protect,
will support and protect
defend the Constitution
and defend the Constitution
and government of the United States
and government of the United States
and of the state of Florida
and of the state of Florida
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
domestic or foreign,
domestic or foreign,
and that I will bear true faith,
and that I will bear true faith,
loyalty, and allegiance
loyalty, and allegiance
to the same,
to the same,
and that I am entitled to hold office
and that I'm entitled to hold office
under the Constitution of the United States
under the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution and laws of the state of Florida,
and the Constitution and laws of the state of Florida,
and that I will faithfully perform all the duties
and that I will faithfully perform all the duties
of advisory board member
of advisory board member
of Westlake, Florida,
of the city of Westlake, Florida,
which I am now about to enter.
upon now to enter.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Did you have a copy of the oath of office at your station here at the station fill out the top, where it does say town of office, you can an advisory board member.
Okay.
We can proceed with the meeting. I'll get that from you at the end of the meeting.
Okay. Madam City Clerk, can we get a roll call, please?
Yes, Board Chair. Board Member Estes.
Yes.
Here.
Here.
Board Member Gail Blair Lewis.
Here.
Board Member Kim Lanza.
Here.
Board Member Lauren Mondell.
Here.
Board Member Carol Waldman.
Here.
We have a quorum. Thank you.
Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next up, we have the approval of the agenda. I'd like one of the board members to make a motion to approve the agenda.
Board member Gail Blair Lewis. Motions.
Right? Make a motion.
Make a motion.
Second?
Second, Kim Lanza.
Thank you. We have a motion by Board Member Blair Lewis, seconded by Board Member Lanza.
Next, I'd like to go ahead and make the.
I'm sorry, before you move forward, let me just do a roll call to confirm the agenda. Board Member Waldman.
Yes.
Board Member Mondell.
Yes.
Board Member Lanza.
Yes.
Board Member Blair Lewis.
Yes.
Board Member Estes.
Yes.
Motion approved. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to go ahead and approve of the minutes in the Art and Public Places Advisory Board for February 6, 2023. So if somebody could make a motion.
Board member Blair Lewis makes a motion to approve the minutes.
Second, someone?
I, Laura Mondell, second the motion.
Thank you. We have a motion by Board Member Blair Lewis, seconded by Board Member Mondell. Roll call. Board Member Blair Lewis.
Yes.
Board Member Lanza.
Yes.
Board Member Estes.
Yes.
Board Member Mondell,
Yes.
Board Member Waldman.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Next is new business. May we have for the AIPP 2025-01, the applicant is requesting approval for a proposed art sculpture installation called Fresh Burst for the Westlake Palms development. The subject application is located at 4931 Seminole Pratt Whitney Road, 1000. May we have the staff present?
I apologize, Board Chair. There actually is the first item here, board organization. We do have to select a board vice chair.
Okay.
So if there actually is if there's anybody that you would like, are there any recommendations or anyone who would like to be the vice chair?
I'll do it. Anyone?
I'll do it.
You guys can have a discussion and then someone can make a motion to who they would like to appoint as vice chair.
Okay. Is the discussion open or?
It's an open discussion.
Gail,
You can talk amongst yourselves.
Gail, would you like to do it?
Oh, yeah.
Or would you? like-
Who's interested in
Yeah,
doing
who's
it?
interested?
I would do it.
I would do it too.
Tim is interested. So. Are you?
Oh, that's true. That's from where do you?
Yeah, we're requesting too.
We're all three questions.
Oh, oh.
Questions.
I think Rose, your Meadows. I think representing each. Or
I would agree with that, actually.
I would agree.
Okay, so can we make a motion to make,
So someone would need to make a motion except for the board chair.
Not interested, but if you were interested.
so can you make a motion that she be vice chair?
Sure. I, Lauren Mondell, make the motion to elect Gail Blair Lewis as vice chair.
Appoint.
Second motion?
Carol Waldman seconded.
Second. We have a motion by Board Member Mondell, seconded by Board Member Waldman. Roll call, Board Member Lanza,
Yes.
Board Member Mondell, Board Member Estes,
Yes.
Board Member Waldman, Board Member Blair Lewis.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Congratulations.
So now we'll go ahead and move to new business for the AIPP 2025-01. The applicant is requesting approval of proposed art sculpture installation called Fresh First for the Westlake Palms development. The subject application is located at 4931 Seminole Pratt Whitney Road, 1000. May we have the staff presentation?
Thank you. Good evening, board members. For the record, Osnian Leon, city planner for the city of Westlake. Before you is AIPP 2025-01, Westlake Farms Art in Public Places Review application. The applicant is requesting approval of a proposed art sculpture installation called Fresh Burst for the Westlake Palms development. The subject site is, that's the general location, is within the Westlake Landings, more specifically parcel F2. This is a refresher for the ordinance and the requirements per city code. All non-residential projects with vertical construction costs of 1 million or more must either, one, contribute 1% of the building construction cost of the project as a fee into the art acquisition fund, or number two, provide artwork that has an appraised value equal to 0.75% of the building construction cost. The applicant has elected to provide on-site artwork based on the estimated vertical construction cost of 1.2 approximately million. The required value of the artwork is $9,375. The proposed sculpture before you is valued at approximately $12,000, exceeding this requirement. The sculpture will be located on the eastern portion of the site. I would just like to also highlight per city code the criteria the board should utilize in making your recommendation to the city council. The Art in Public Places Advisory Board shall consider the quality of the artwork, the exhibition and experience of the artist's works in public collections and previous public art, previous public art purchases or commissions, the ability of the artist to complete the project within a specified schedule, and the compliance with the standards of the city code. Here, the ineligible artwork that should not be considered as artwork are objects which are mass-produced or standard manufactured, such as playground equipment, fountains, statuary elements, signage, maps, corporate logos, etc. Reproduction by mechanical or other means of original artwork, except in the case of limited edition controlled by the artist, cast, sculptural, film, video, photography, printmaking, or other media arts. Commercial expression, including design elements related to the visual identity of developer or occupant of a building, such as logo, trademark, color scheme or theme, or even if created by an artist. Services or utilities necessary to operate and maintain on a network over time also should not be eligible. Again, this is the subject site. It's approximately 1.3 acre. Was approved by City Council on September 3rd, 2024. It's a 10,400 square foot of commercial space, 7 tenant bays, 520 square foot of outdoor seating area. The application also received 8 waivers for signage. The proposed sculpture will be located at the east of the site along Landings Drive, as highlighted on the slide. And as you can tell too, is also where the sign for the subject development will be. The proposed sculpture, again called Fresh Bursts. This installation symbolically represents a vibrant new beginning that is frequently the city of Westlake. This is all provided by the applicant. Finished in a vibrant lime green, it is representative of the new life emerging from seed. Fresh Burst pays homage to the forward-looking spirit found in all new endeavors, and fabricated from 0.25-inch aluminum plate and finished with an acrylic polyurethane paint. It is fabricated to endure the extreme Florida climate. And these are pictures of or renderings, I should say. That is the old Fresh Burst alongside the project signage. The sculpture will be located at the eastern side of the property and is integrated within the landscape design. A green barrier composed of podocarpus, ground cover of ficus at the sculpture base. Under the staff analysis, staff looked at the exhibition experience of the artist. According to the submitted artist statement, Mr. Mark Fuller has over 30 years of experience in kinetic structures, compression tension, cable structures, static free-standing elements for public places installed across Florida, California, Washington, New Jersey. The ability of the artist to complete the project within a specified schedule. The artist has qualified as able to complete the project within the schedule. The artist possesses extensive experience and specializes in design and execution. And the compliance of the standards of this chapter, the proposed sculpture meets all the requirements of the Arts and Public Places program and complies with all zoning and landscaping standards as well. The sculpture will be illuminated with uplighting installed on the ground. It will operate on a sensor that will come on at dusk and go off at daybreak. Pursuant to the city code, the artwork shall not be altered or removed from the site without prior approval of city council. And the maintenance will be done by maintenance agreement between the property owner and the company that fabricates and installs the art. Also, the regular maintenance, the applicant must submit an executed maintenance agreement prior to issuance of the building permit, and that will be a condition of approval. And the artwork will need to comply with all applicable building, zoning, and fire codes. Based upon facts and findings contained, staff recommends approval of the subject application with the following condition. An executed maintenance agreement shall be provided to the city prior to building permit issuance. Thank you. And I believe the applicant also has a presentation.
Good evening, Madam Chair and board members. For the record, my name is Donaldson Hearing. I'm representing Westlake Palms LLC this evening. And my background, I'm a land planner and landscape architect and have done most of what you see out here in Westlake. So I love this city. And I love this particular project. It's a great project. This when the city adopted the art in public places uh, language in the code, they did it really to encourage the development community to try to do on-site art. And so you notice that the fee for doing art on site is a little bit less than what it would be if you were just to write a check, take the easy way out. And so the folks at Westlake Palms really wanted to be a part of the city and commit to the city. And so they're proposing to do the art on place. I'll tell you, it'd be a lot easier and cheaper and less costly just to write a check. But I think it's important that we continue to build and encourage and set a good example. So that's why we're here with this petition before you. I know you all have seen the first piece of art out there at the James Business Park. Very well done. And if you've studied that art has a great story to it. And so we always like to build a story into whatever the art is that we're doing. So it's got more meaning. And hopefully someday, I mentioned this when the city first started the Art in Public Places program. Hopefully someday you can document all the art that's in the city and have something written about it and something you could publish on your website. So if I recall correctly, there's even a requirement for all applications to obtain a waiver from the artist so that you have the ability to reproduce and publish their art that's in your city. So just a little bit of education there on what's there. So the subject site, Westlake Palms, is about a 1 acre plus site located in Westlake Landings. So it's kind of on the over adjacent to just east of Tractor Supply, south of Publix, and behind the 7-Eleven store. So here's an overall view of all the projects that are approved to date within Westlake Palms. There's a couple of open parcels that aren't approved. Of course, most of what's along Seminole Pratt Whitney has been constructed, and Westlake Palms is highlighted there in yellow. And so this is a really nice kind of a high level retail center mixed use. And so this is one of the renderings of the building. So it fits in. It's a little bit more contemporary, but very high level of detail. And so if you drive by there, you'll see a lot of the concrete's being poured, and you can begin to see the form of the building as it takes place. And so in keeping with its name, the landscape design has a lot of variety of different types of very interesting palms that will reinforce the architecture and the lightness and openness of the building. And when we did the site plan for the project, we very intentionally did something that not everybody does. We actually brought the building and engaged it to the street. So on the north side of the street and on the south side of the street, all that good looking architecture is right on the street as opposed to parking, right? You're not looking at a parking lot. You'll be looking at some great architecture. And in the front, we work with the city and planning department and the city council to really create this this green lawn in the front, which actually will be zoysia grass. It will be specialty grass. And so that is the area where the proposed art in public places will be located. So we wanted to set it up as a special setting, a special location for the site. We selected Mark Fuller. Mark Fuller is a personal friend of mine through as a colleague as we worked together for the past 30 years. He's got an amazing body of work. And nothing in Westlake. Obviously, there's only one other Westlake, but an amazing body of work if you look through his resume. And I know you've all seen his work if you've gone on Royal Palm Beach Boulevard and Okeechobee. He's got some beautiful pieces of art that are there that were commissioned by the Village of Royal Palm Beach. If you've been to the city of Palm Beach Gardens, you've probably seen a number of his pieces in various places. The record player that was done in honor of Hank Skakowski at Legacy Place is one of his pieces. If you've seen The Molecule, which is a project that I was involved with, which we did for United Technologies when they built the Center for Intelligent Buildings, the Carrier Building right on Donald Ross Road in 95. The Molecule was one of his. We recently did a beautiful piece of art in PGA Design Center in front of the Brox Hotel there, just south of PGA Boulevard, and many other wonderful pieces of art that he's done. And then we, from a design standpoint, had the opportunity to collaborate with Mark on a commission with the city of Port St. Lucie underneath the Crosstown Road Bridge. And I'll show you that one, which is obviously much more elaborate than what we're able to do with our budget. But again, just to show you, the quality of his work. And this is that piece. And it is literally underneath the Crosstown Parkway Bridge in Port St. Lucie. And this has won a number of different awards. It include the kind of glass sculptural pineapple, as well as these interesting landscape art pieces that come out of the ground. And again, very nicely done. Everything that he does is really nice. Here's some other more interesting art that Mark has done. Wasn't involved in this project. This is in Bradenton, but very playful, fun, interesting art. He does all different types and styles. Hundreds of pieces that Mark has done, and he not only does he design these pieces, and a lot of them are based on elaborate mathematical equations that he builds these things from. But he builds them, he designs them, he builds them, and just does a very spectacular job. So he doesn't just design it and send it to a fabrication place. He built it himself, which is really nice. Typically developed out of very high grade aluminum, and the paint finishes that Osdell was talking about, those are typically, it's basically what they use on aircraft, right? So it's intended to be very durable. You just have to wash it and wax it every few years, and that's really the maintenance that is proposed. You can see his long list of art that he's done. He's got a number of pieces in PGA Commons, if you've been on PGA Boulevard, but just pieces everywhere that are really spectacular. So it's really an honor to have him work with us. So the art that we chose is, this fresh burst. As a landscape architect, we thought it was fun and fitting with the Westlake Palms concept. It's a bold piece. And since we had a limited budget, we wanted to kind of make it appear bigger than what it actually is. So we've integrated in with the signage, which is also directly related to the architecture. And so we think so the cost of the art is just for the art piece. The sign's another $50,000. It's just for the art piece, just so that's real clear. It will be illuminated from the ground, so it'll be illuminated at night. That is, I believe, a requirement of the ordinance. And so we're really excited about this piece, how it will be perceived not only during the day but at night. Kind of gives you the idea of the scale with a human person there. It's a pretty decent size piece of art, and a couple different views of what's there. So tonight we're here asking you for your recommendation of approval to the City Council. We go to the City Council in August. And we're hoping to actually get our CO for the building probably sometime early. Here's Mr. Brendan Shirley, who is a principal with Westlake Palms. Thank you for coming, Brendan. He could tell you about the construction schedule, but I know he's making great progress out there based on my observations. So with that, we're happy to answer any questions that you have, and excited to be here. Welcome. Thank you for volunteering your time to this wonderful city of Westlake. Thank you.
Thank you. Madam City Clerk, can we move on to the board comments?
Well, right now you have before you the application, so you all can discuss and your plans for whether recommending to council or not.
Okay, when do we get to ask questions?
Now.
Okay.
Mhm.
So I'll go first. I'm going to ask my first question. One of the pictures that you put up there, you had all this, well, not all, you had shrubbery in front of the sign. How high, is there going to be a mandatory, limit as to how high those shrubs will be or?
Right. Yeah. So this will be sitting out in the middle of the formal lawn. The only obligation that we have is around the sign itself. We're required to have 3 feet of foundation planting, and we're using a ficus that stays very, very low. So the idea is it's very, very clean, and zoysia grass is like golf course grass. So it's a very clean grass. There's a lot of palms against the building, but the whole lawn area, which is from the sidewalk to sidewalk, is open with grass, so it's very, very visible. And then we've got 2 large Royal Poinciana trees that flank way out on the side. So this is wide open and fully visible.
Fully visible from the street?
Fully visible from the street. Yes, ma'am.
So there's not going to be any shrubbery between the signage and the street?
No, only the ground cover that would be
Okay.
12 inches tall, the ficus, and then the 2 Royal Poinciana trees that sit probably 30 or 40 feet away in both directions.
Okay, and obviously the main question we all have around here in the state of Florida is hurricane. It's obviously code compliant, all
Yeah.
that, it's not going to blow away or anything like that.
And no, ma'am, it has to be designed to withstand 140-mile winds. So it'll be bolted down onto a concrete foundation.
Okay. Anybody else?
I had a question. The shading of the lime green, is it going to be a solid lime or will there be shading so it looks like a true plant?
It'll be more of a solid color, but because it's more of an iridescent reflective material, when light reflects on it, you will perceive it differently. So it's not a mirror, but it's reflective and it's got that iridescence. So not only when it's illuminated at night, but when its light is shining on it from the sky, you will see that variation of shade and shadow that will produce that aesthetic.
I had one question. Go ahead. The diagram showed the sculpture towards the building versus on the street, so people driving by would be able to see it.
Yeah, because we are so close to the street. I mean, that's right up on the street. You'll perceive it from all directions. And if I go back to the site plan here, because I think that's important. Here we go. You'll also see it as you're driving around the corner because you're coming from Publix. The building actually kind of creates a terminated vista from the road from Publix. And so you'll perceive it as you drive around because you'll never see it in a static position.
Okay.
I'm looking at the elevation page you have here, and so it's going to be sitting within a concrete foundation, you said. And so the first, I don't know, that's 12 inches up from the ground, and then we're looking at 3 foot 3 inches as the lowest. Blade burst, I'll call that. So I'm thinking of just kind of like safety, open wide spaces, children around. How pointy is that?
The sculpture itself is not pointy at all.
Okay.
So it's very, very smooth and soft. It's not pointy. If we perceive any issues with vandalism, and we'll have security, it will be well lit. We got a lot of eyes on the street. We wouldn't anticipate it on a piece like that. But if we do that, we'd come at the base and kind of plant something a little bit more spiky that would have points to it. But this is very, very smooth.
3 feet is perfect height for a kid to jump on.
No. We've done, art now for many, many years in different cities, and we've found that we really haven't seen the vandalism that, we've planned for it, but we've never seen it.
I have a question to just kind of piggyback off of that. For ADA compliance, like just looking at the site plan here, you see a sidewalk kind of going past it. There is a projection. So is there a consideration for that? I mean, you had mentioned something about it potentially being dangerous, but also there's a projection for somebody that's in a wheelchair.
It's well separated from the sidewalk. So there's a sidewalk on the street, which is a part of the road. And then there is a sidewalk, which will be a paver sidewalk that goes all the way around the building. And it's well separated by probably 5 or 6 feet
Okay, so
from,
it's set back.
from where the art is. Yes.
And you did say, or it was mentioned that any maintenance, damage, not that we're looking for, it would be
Okay,
repaired and maintained.
It would be, yeah, we have an obligation. There's a condition of approval, which I'll go on the record, we're in full agreement with that, that we're required to provide for maintenance and a maintenance plan. And we'll do that if is damage. It would be our obligation. It'd be a code enforcement issue if we didn't fix it. So it's, something that will last forever. That's why, I came out with the statement early on that it's a lot easier to write a check, right?
Mhm.
But we really want to encourage other people to do it. So, now the next applicant that comes forward, Osno has at least the ability to say they did it and it wasn't all that big, because we try to encourage people to do it. And I'll tell you, because we have represented most of the developers like Publix and others, and they don't want to mess with it. They don't want, hopefully we get the money and the city can use that somewhere, but we like to create that diversity throughout the city and get art moving forward.
That's exactly what it does. It creates diversity when you have different people creating that art, not the same after same after same.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. You don't want the same person doing it. You want different hands so that you could tell that, I'd love for 20 years from now, JP, when you're still mayor, you could write it, you guys could publish a beautiful book and there could be a story about each piece of art and a picture in it, have it on your website, things that you can, makes your city great.
Give Westlake a uniqueness.
Yeah. I listened to the last Art in Public Places board meeting because Zoe recommended it and I did it. And one of the things that they recommended with that Orange with 3 Blossoms is that it's going to pop. It's, it's not going to blend in with the, the background. And this just seems the opposite. And I think it's a great contrast to have to see what each of them can do. Because you said you're going to build these palms or put the palms in to blend it in.
So it has context. So
Right.
we're giving it context.
I agree.
And a lot of the palms we're using have a palmate leaf versus banana leaf, which that would look more like. So we do it to contrast, but again, just making it fun.
That's where the diversity comes in. Though.
Yes.
One wants to blend and the other one doesn't. So you
Right.
get a great contrast
Yes,
to
ma'am.
both of them. Yeah.
Were there any considerations about the color of the sculpture? I know it's like a bright lime green.
We did not give the artist any direction at all. So this is what the artist came up with. He came up with the green. I don't think we would have an objection of a different color, but that was the color he had come up with. I guess it'd be more pure that it's a light green as the first burst of of something out of the ground in spring would typically be lighter and softer. So I guess that's the reason.
That was a consideration for me, was this lime green kind of thing. Was it going to look,
A little too shocking.
Is there a gradient of some sort?
Natural. I guess
No,
use that word, but the word is garish.
no, not at all. Because if you look at it's not that lime greeny. It's not fluorescent. It's a linden. It's like a linden.
It looks like he used it on one of his kinetic sculptures also. One of them is that lime green and it wasn't bad.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I think it'd be very, trust me, I can tell you that, Brendan and his team and partners wouldn't do it if it was going to be garish. They're spending too much money on the detail of the architecture of the building that,
Yes, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, I am familiar with his works throughout the city in Palm Beach Gardens. The butterfly is one of my favorites. I
Yeah,
never knew who it was. And
that was, yeah, that was one of the first ones that he had done many years ago for,
It's like wondering, because like, yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen him use like the lime twist green.
yeah, he does great work. He designed all the bus shelters. Maybe another idea for JP here. He designed all of the bus shelters that are used throughout the city of Palm Beach Gardens. And so they're artistic, and the city used Art in Public Places money that they had in their coffers to build those. And it makes a difference than just the plain Jane Palm Tran bus shelters.
I don't know if you're going to speak to this, but as far as date of completion, are we looking for Westlake Palms to be completely done before this is?
It certainly will be done before any business is open.
Oh, it would be done, okay.
Before any businesses open their doors, this will be in, if not the sooner. We're shooting to have it done by the end of September. But certainly, we won't have anybody, first people will be moving in probably January, maybe February at the latest.
Okay.
Just giving us an inside scoop.
I know, right? I was like, I'll take that insight.
Paying attention to the dates here.
Yes,
That's prior to CO, right?
that's final CO, yeah.
Right, okay.
Not completion, but CO.
The completion would be done prior to final CO.
Right, yeah, that will be installed before any occupancy of the building.
Okay, got it.
And then the lime green color, right? I'm assuming he's going to be doing a mock-up with the artificial, like architectural uplighting. Is that going to change the color in any way?
The uplighting, we will use, most likely 3,000
Okay.
degree or 3,000 Kelvin LED, which is almost it's not getting you on the blue spectrum, a little bit more on the warmer, but it's not 2,700, which tends to be more like what you see there is 2,700.
Mhm.
So it makes it more pure.
So it won't change the color?
No, we're not doing strobing.
No, not that, but I'm saying, would it change the
No,
lime
ma'am.
green color?
No, you'll get the shading that the young lady was talking about.
Okay.
When you talk about maintenance, the life of the color, is there at any point where the life of the color will change?
It shouldn't. This is really high,
UV protected.
yeah, it's what they put on airplanes. So, our experience in the past with some of his pieces, all we have to do is just wax it.
Right.
Just wax it and that's it.
Low maintenance.
Very low maintenance.
So
Thank you very much.
I have one more question.
Yes, ma'am.
So you were talking about the story, like all sculptures have a story to it. And I know that this represents Westlake by new beginnings. Is there anything else, like why was it these palms kind of shooting out? Like, was there any additional information about this story?
No, I mean, I think, Mark, going back, knowing that, we're landscape architects and, we're visionaries and we think of things from beginning to end. I think that was just part of, his inspiration of what he wanted to do for us.
And that would make it unique to Westlake.
It never been done before, never been done before. This is nowhere else.
Okay.
Thank
Any
you.
other questions?
No. Madam City Clerk, can we move to board and staff comments?
Actually, Board Chair, before you move forward, you would need to make a motion to recommend to council if you choose to do so.
Okay, so with there being no further comments, make a motion to entertain and approve AIPP 2025-01 to the city council.
Need to ask for that.
Oh, somebody make a motion to go ahead and approve. Recommend.
I make a motion, Carol Waldman.
Hi, Laura Mundell, second the motion.
We have a motion by Board Member Waldman, seconded by Board Member Mondell. Roll call, Board Member Mondell,
Yes.
Board Member Blair Lewis,
Yes.
Board Member Lanza,
Yes.
Board Member Waldman, Board Member Estes.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Thank you.
Madam City Clerk, can we move to board and staff comments?
Staff has no additional comments. There are no further applications before the board, so there's no need to set a new date for another meeting. Once there is an application to be presented to the board, we'll reach out to you all regarding that. Just so that are there any additional comments from planning and zoning? No additional comments, Board Chair.
Madam Clerk, can we move to public comments? This section of the agenda allows for comments from the public to speak. Each speaker will be given a total of 3 minutes to comment. A public comment card should be completed and returned to the city clerk. When you're called to speak, please go to the podium or unmute your device prior to addressing council. State your name and address for the record.
You have a comment from Mr. Bobby Farber.
It's good when they know you. Bobby Farber, 4829 St. Armand's Way. Just a question and a comment. They're putting this up. They did the orange blossom. Is there any way we can incorporate the story into that sculpture? Because there is a story behind it. Maybe they could put a little placard up there explaining the story for anybody who walks up, looks at it, maybe wants to know what it's all about. So if maybe they could have incorporated that into both of those or any of the art that comes up here. So that's just a suggestion. It's up to you to follow through with it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Board Chair, Mayor,
If I may, point of privilege here. JP O'Connor, 16260 Oakview Drive. I just wanted to take a quick moment and personally thank all of you guys for volunteering your time, really coming here to work for free for the city. And this particular committee, I am extremely, extremely fond of because it has to do with beautifying this wonderful city that we live in. And, they say that art decorates spaces, but it really transforms them. And you guys are getting in on the ground floor of being able to do that. And that is no small feat. So again, for me, and I'm sure I speak for the entire council, I really appreciate you guys coming here and donating your time and being a part of this committee. And thank you so much.
Pretty excited to be here. Okay, so with there being no further comments, this meeting is adjourned. June 24th, 2025, 6:42 PM.
thank you.
So-